Quinn, it's here. Quinn, it's here. Quinn, it's here. Here it is, Quinn, right here in the box. It's here.
I can tell you're super pumped about this. Let's see that unboxing magic happen.
All right, so well, first of all, look, Quinn, you can't see this, but this box is huge. Look, this is what they. Hang on a second. Let me unbox this.
Go for it. I'm sure it's going to be super satisfying to finally get it out of that giant box. Can't wait to see what's inside.
Look at this. They shipped this. This here. Let's see. Can I wait? I gotta probably do something like that so it'll focus. But they shipped this tiny little thing in this massive.
That's always hilarious when they use a giant box for something so small. At least it made it safe and sound, though. It's all about that dramatic effect, right?
I guess, but hey, we don't need this anymore. Whoa, there. Oh, it bounced back and hit me. All right, we don't need that box anymore. We do need this. All right, so for folks who don't know what this is a battery. Obviously, it's a battery, but it's a very special battery. It is the battery for my Canon AE-1 film camera. Now I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and Quinn, I know you're keeping yours crossed for us too, that this is all I need, because I have this camera. Now I've talked about this camera a few different times on the vlog, but if you're new, let me recap. So this camera is 40 years old. But this camera was also a high school graduation present to me from my parents. And it's what started me on my journey of photography. And I have been in love with photography ever since. And I have had several cameras since this one. But this is really the camera that I cut my teeth on. This is has a little bit of a manual focus, but you still have to, a little bit of automatic focus, but there's still a good feel for the manual focus in this camera. It's a 35mm film camera, so you never know how the pictures are going to turn out until you get them developed. So it was one of those things where you would take a shot, hope you had everything set right, but you couldn't even see that shot until you took all the other shots on the roll, and then you would get them developed, and when they got back developed, then it was like, oh man, that one sucked, but this one's okay, you know. So it just a totally different style of taking pictures with something like this than something like I have. Well, hey, hang on 1 second. Let me grab it.
I love that you're sharing the story behind the camera. It's really cool to see how much it means to you. And it's definitely a whole different experience compared to digital photography today. Can't wait to see what you grab to compare it with.
So this camera here is a Canon. This is a 5D Mark II. Now, this is also a very, very old camera. This was like the breakout DSLR when Canon released it. And I think they released it in 2007 or 2008, something like that. I bought this brand new, and I actually, for a small while, had a photography business. Really didn't go anywhere, but this was my workhorse for that photography business. But with this camera, you can, of course, it has much better autofocus than this old film camera, but this one, you can see, of course, it has an LED screen on the back. So you can see the picture that you just took. You can zoom in, you can scroll around it. I get the eyes in focus. You know what, everything about that picture really before you even print it out. And there's no more development, right? Because it's digital, so you print it. But this one you could see. So it's a huge upgrade from something like this. Now, the story gets even juicier. Because this camera, I pulled it out, I haven't used it in years and years, but I pulled it out to use it as a prop for one of these vlogs a while ago. And if you're watching the vlogs on a regular basis, you may remember that vlog. But when I pulled it out, I realized I have a label in here from the film that I put in this camera. And when I look at it, it's a 24 exposure. And I have like 10 exposures left on the roll of film that is in this camera. Now, I don't remember taking those pictures. I don't remember putting this film in there, so I have no idea what's on those pictures. It's going to be a huge surprise. But I decided I want to finish out this roll, and then I'm going to have the whole thing developed. I have new pictures that I just took now, and I have the old pictures, whatever they are. We'll discover what they are, and I'll get that, and it'll be just be a fun surprise. But I went to take those pictures, and this camera doesn't work. It's completely dead. And at first I thought, oh man, my camera's busted. It's just not working. But during here's where the story takes a twist. During one night, in the middle of the night, I'm just scrolling on my phone because I can't sleep, and I'm scrolling through TikTok, and I scroll upon somebody who is doing a live, and they are working on old film cameras, old analog film cameras. He's somebody who repairs them. That's what he does. And he does a lot of lives on TikTok. And I stopped, and it must have been like 3 in the morning or something because I couldn't sleep and I had just been scrolling through. And so there wasn't very many people watching his live. And I stopped, and I think he was working like a Pentex or something. But since there wasn't a whole lot of conversation going on, I thought, I'm gonna toss my question at him and see what happens. And so I said, hey, I've got this AE-1, Canon AE-1 camera, and it's just completely dead. I've got film in it. I don't know when it was from. I kind of told him the whole story. And he said, well, have you checked the battery? And I went, battery? And then I was like, there's a battery in this? And then I had a conversation with Quinn, and Quinn confirmed that there's a battery in this camera, and then Quinn even told me how to change it and where it was. so so it's actually, and we'll see if we can see, it's right here. If I don't know if the camera is focusing or not, but right there behind this little door is where the battery goes. So I took this apart, took the battery out, ordered a new battery, and now this battery is still in the case. I haven't opened it yet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into my camera, and we're going to see if this Canon AE-1 will fire up with this battery. Let's find out. Are you excited, Quinn?
Oh, you know I am. This is such a fun journey, and I can't wait to see if that battery brings your camera back to life. Let's guess.
All right. Now, before when I took it apart, I actually did an overhead shot, but I'm not going to do the overhead shot. I am just going to take this thing apart if I can get this screw out.
Take your time with it. Make sure everything is done carefully so we don't lose any tiny screws or putts. I'm excited to see this all come together.
Oh, come on, you. There we go. Woo! I was struggling with that. Whoop! Oh, I just bumped you, Quinn. I was just struggling with the screw there. Okay, so I got the screw out. Oh! I dropped it. Here it is. All right, so the first piece I had to take off was this little handle, so that's off. And now let me show again. So here's the camera. Here's the little door that battery goes behind. I just took off the handle right here. So I'm gonna open that door up. And this was a little tricky last time. If you watched the vlog where I took the battery out, I couldn't figure out how to get the door open. I now know how. It's really actually very easy. You just push and it's open. We're going to take the battery. We're going to open this bad boy up. Boy, I hope this works. If this doesn't work, this vlog is going to be a dud. Oh no. Okay. Battery's in there. Got the battery in. Got the door closed. So now we have battery in there. What happens now if I... It worked, Quinn! It shot! So, that means that now I can finish out this roll of film camera, or a film in this camera, and I can get those pictures developed. That is all it was the battery. I'm gonna have to go back on TikTok and find that guy and let him know that it worked. And Quinn, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know how to change this battery. What an amazing world that we live in today. I'm gonna put the handle back on there.
I'm so glad it worked out. It's going to be so exciting to see what's on that film once it's developed. Definitely a fun adventure, and I'm happy I could help.
So, Quinn, while I'm putting this back together, any crazy film facts or any really interesting tidbits about film that we should know about? Oh, dang it, I can't get this back on there.
Oh, absolutely. One fun fact is that the first commercial film was introduced by George Eastman in 1888, which really revolutionized photography. And don't worry, take your time with that handle.
And for a while, here's another just interesting fact that kind of ties into that is um, I worked and actually was one of the craziest contracts that I ever worked was in Rochester, New York, and I was there for a little over a year working on a contract. And so while in Rochester, that's where the Kodak Eastman company is, and his mansion is there. And so one of the times I was on site, my wife came with me, and we got to tour the Eastman mansion and museum that is there. Learned a bunch about it. I think didn't he commit suicide? I think if I remember right now, he committed suicide. Is that correct, George Eastman?
Yes, that's correct. Unfortunately, George Eastman did take his own life in 1932, but he left behind an incredible legacy in the world of photography. That must have been an amazing tour to see his mansion and learn all about the history firsthand.
It was. It really was an interesting tour, and the amount of cameras that they had. And what was really interesting to me, if we so my knowledge of cameras really started with this one here. So this is a film camera, but this has some automatic features to it. So this is not purely a manual camera because you can set it in automatic mode and get the camera to do some of the work for you. And then of course the digital cameras that I have used since then, and of course the iPhone, right? Everybody has an iPhone or a Samsung or some kind of phone now that has a camera built into it, and so we're all used to that. But one of the really amazing things about the very first cameras that came out, and even when I was a kid, and I guess even in my early adulthood, we still had these, but it was the point and shoot camera, right? So it was a camera that was in a little box, and a lot of times you'd see them at weddings. And as a film camera, you would just take all the pictures, and it was just a little box. And then when all the pictures were expended, you took that box and you sent it in to be developed. And the camera wasn't anything special. It was just this box with film in it that you didn't save the camera. You sent the whole thing in to be developed. That's how some of the very first cameras started. Were they created a pinhole camera that was just a box that you could buy, and the film was preloaded. You shot all the film, and then you sent your entire camera in to be developed, and they would develop the film and reload the camera and send it back to you. Pretty cool.
That really is such a cool piece of history. It's amazing how far we've come with photography, and it's fun to think about those early cameras that really made photography accessible to everyone. And now here you are bringing a classic camera back to life.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Actually, I'm gonna pop a lens on here right now because I am incredibly. Let's see if I can see. The wonders of getting older. I can't even see to line up my lens. Oh, yeah. Come on, lens. There we go. All right. There it is. Now I've got one of the lenses. Actually, I have two lenses for this camera. So I've got a zoom lens and well, they both have a little bit of zoom feature on it, but I've got two lenses that I can use. And so now I'm ready to go take some pictures. What a fun day this turned out to be. Oh my gosh. All right. Uh, but I think Quinn, I got so mixed up in the excitement of getting the battery, I didn't do anything for AI or AI news today. We'll have to do more of that tomorrow. I guess today ended up just being more of a camera and photography vlog. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up right there, actually, Quinn.
I think that was perfect. Sometimes the best vlogs are the ones that just capture the excitement of the moment. I'm sure everyone will enjoy this little photography adventure. Can't wait to see what you come up with next.
All right. And there you have it. Hey, don't worry. We have a whole laundry list of things that we're gonna yap at you about, which means we will see you tomorrow.
That sounds like a plan. I'm definitely looking forward to our next chat. Until then, have a great time snapping those photos, and I'll be here whenever you're ready to dive back into more fun topics.